Hi guys, James here. Tomorrow Grant Cardone is going to be interviewed by one of his friends, and they're going to discuss this bankruptcy and all his other issues that are plaguing his financial empire. But we know it's all just a whitewash. Everything's going to be fine and dandy. The reality is it's not fine and dandy. I believe Cardone Capital is insolvent. Why do I believe that? Due to the excessive debt. You know, if you go on on Cardone Capital website, there's 25 properties available. 25. So some he got real cheap. There's those smallest complexes, 104 units, which he got dirt cheap. There's no doubt about it, a couple years ago. But there's other ones that he paid extreme dollars for. Last year alone, he purchased 3 to 4 units last year, and he just closed on a new unit in February this year from Naples, Florida. So those units alone probably totaled maybe close to 500 million price-wise, which is a lot of money. So if you look at the total amount Grant says he has under management is 1.7 billion. That's I don't know. That may be the debt ratio of what he has. He says he has over 8,000 units. But if you go on his website, the 25 units, it only equals about 4,000 units. So there's something here that's not quite right, but let's look at the big picture. If you average out 25 units, you got to figure 10 of the units he's probably paid over 100 million for properties. The bigger units, there's a lot of properties that are over 400 units. He paid top dollar for it in the last couple of years. You got to understand what happened. There's not a real market for apartment complexes available, especially if you're looking for Class A units. Okay, the units like that he has in Stuart, Florida, it's not Class A unit, it's a Class C unit. But there's not enough units available, the complex is available. So what Grant had to do, he had to go knocking on the door of property owners that own these apartment complexes. He had the cash in the investment funds. He has to spend the money. He can't sit around and hold on to it. So he goes out knocking on the doors trying to find someone who will sell to him. And a lot of these sellers are like, Grant, we really don't want to sell right now. It's a long-term investment for our family. Because these are family companies. They're not investment funds. These are true developers. They develop the property for themselves, and that's how they make their money, is developing it for themselves. But everybody has a price. So if you're going to push me and you really want to buy it, maybe I'll sell to you. Maybe you're going to buy it at whatever I figure is right. So Grant, no problem. Things are good, man. He's got tons of money coming in from investment. He's got all these units, and everybody says investing. Cash is coming in nonstop. He's out there doing his 10x seminars around the country, pushing on his educational stuff, but he's also investing my funds. So what happened? He buys at the height of the market. But the problem is that there's such slim margins on these properties. If you buy so high, you got to remember you're limited on how much money you can make per month from a apartment complex. There's no real leeway. If it's $1 million a month, it's $1 million a month, and that's not going to change. Okay, you're not going to make any more money because your leases all come all different times. So that's why big time people stay away from apartment complexes. That's why they buy Class A commercial properties where you have long-term leases, from companies buy a property or lease from you for 5 years, and up through that lease you can gradually increase the rents per square foot, and that's a common occurrence. But when you have apartment complexes, you're kind of limited, to how much you can spend per month on the leases. You can't all of a sudden have a 20% increase per month. You can't do it because it's not going to happen. It's not logical. It's not how you do business. So anyway, Grant's got all these properties. He's got all these properties, and everything's good until it's not. Okay, he had all this money coming in, and all of a sudden the market kind of changed. It started gradually slowing down. So Grant didn't pull the dividend, because of the rent. He already got the rent from February and March. That was fine. He pulled the dividend is because of non-investment in his funds. The funds dried up. People stopped paying into the funds. No new cash was coming in. So in Grant's world, he has to have new money. New money, new money, new money. It has to pay. Because there's not enough money generated from these rental units. There's not. Especially when you pay at the height of the market, there's no leeway. You may have money to pay operations, but you're not going to be able to pay investor. There's a couple things you have to pay. You got to pay the rent. You got to pay your mortgage debt. You got to pay your taxes. You got to pay your insurance. You got to pay your management company to manage the property, and you have to pay investors. So where does all that money come from out of an apartment complex? It's very, very tough to do, especially when you've spent way too much money purchasing that property. So you could be at a negative cash flow, and that could be fine. As long as you have new cash coming in, you can pay the dividend, pay the operations, and still at the end of the day, have money left in the kitty. What happens to that money? I have no idea. I don't know where that money in the kitty goes to. Who's touching that money? But there was always a positive cash flow because there was extra money in the kitty because of all these investors. That was fine until it stopped. The money stopped coming in. All new cash stopped coming in. Nobody's investing. Rightly so, and nobody's investing in anything right now. Only investing you have going on Wall Street is really institutional investing or real traders who for a living make money off of investing day to day on stocks. Okay, 401ks is institutional ones and pension funds and groups like that. But it's not. There's a whole lot of little people investing anymore. They pull their money out as soon as the stock market. People get scared and they pull the money out right away. People want the cash. Rightly so, you should be in cash in a time like this. You need access to your money. Investing in like what Grant has, it would be stupid because it's a closed-end fund. You can't touch your cash, and there's no dividend. So why would you want to invest? Why would you want to invest in Grant Cardone when there's no dividend? It makes absolute sense. So Grant's been pushing hard. Oh my God, very hard. Been pushing nonstop of trying to get you to invest with him. It's been nonstop. He's walking around there in Ventura, all the phones don't stop ringing, and he's doing this every day. But the point is, there's a problem here, folks. There's a major problem. There's no new cash coming in. He's got his debt isn't, $1 billion. His debt is like 1.5 billion. You gotta remember, the investment into his fund has got to be around 30%. So you got to figure about 300 million has been invested by investors. The investors will never, Cardone Capital can never pay the investors' principal back. Never. They can't do it. They can't even pay off, they could not pay off all current debt service that they have, all the different loans they have. They could not pay it off. There's no way in hell that they could pay off the debt. There's no way. There's no way. Cardone Capital does not have the money. They're never going to have the money. Never going to have the money. Okay? So what's going on in this market is going to last throughout this year. It's not going to come all of a sudden going to be, oh, Trump opens up the country and boom, boom, everything's just how it was. No. It's not going to be like that. We're going to have tons of, bankruptcies coming up and stuff like that, So Grant makes his money off of Cardone University. I have to agree with some of the other people that I follow that say that. We may disagree on Cardone Capital, but we agree that Cardone University is where he makes his money. And he makes a ton of money doing it. That's where the moneymaker is. Cardone Capital, he makes money, but he has a high amount of employees. It's a big operation to run all these finances and all the paperwork involved, and there's a whole bunch of things that go on. And you're always trying to get people on, there's salesmen, there's tons of salespeople out there making calls, cold calls, there's the whole operation, okay? And why Cardone University is a totally different operation on its own. So if whatever happens with Cardone Capital, it's not going to affect Cardone University. Because everything Grant does is set up in the LLCs. Everything's an LLC. And that protects him as Grant Cardone from any legal obligations. So if people have a problem with Cardone University, with a Cardone Capital, they're going to sue and they're going to say that he misled them. That's going to be the line. And Grant thinks because, everything's closed, nobody can sue him. Well, I have news for you, Grant. Everything's starting to open up in Florida. The governors are going to start opening up the courts. It's going to happen because if you let people start moving around, now you need a justice system that's going to be available to everyone. So Cardone Capital is insolvent because of extreme debt. They can't pay back anything. They have no new money coming in. They're underwater on their loans. You can expect a 20% decrease next month in May, June, and July on rents because people don't have the money. What are you going to sue them? Sue them. They don't give a shit. What do they care? What do you care? Cardone Capital cannot finance itself. Nobody is going to refinance the debt, okay? Grant said, oh, we'll do forbearance. Well, you can't do forbearance because you'll never, ever get a loan again. You'll never get a loan again. He has to make his payments. He is screaming and yelling for people to invest because he needs to pay those loans. He's got to pay the loan. He knows he has to pay them. He's doing everything. That's why he stopped paying the dividend, and now the cash flow coming in is really negative cash flow. He needs cash. He needs cash. He needs cash. He doesn't want to give up any of those properties because if he gives up one of those properties, it hurts his cred. Well, he already hurt his credit because of that stupid stunt he pulled with the bankruptcy, and that's stupid. That's a whole other issue. But Grant has a financial issue. Not Grant himself, but Cardone Capital. They don't have enough money to run operations. There's not enough money coming in. They're underwater on all their loans on the 25 properties. There's no way that they can afford to pay the payments on, what is the payment on 1.3, 1.4 billion? Yeah, go figure. A couple million a month. No new money coming in. If rent covered operations, there wouldn't be a problem. But since rent cannot cover operations now, there's a huge problem. No new money coming in. No money coming in from the rents. Uh-oh. Boom. It's over, folks. Cardone Capital is insolvent. It's not going to last. I'm telling you. There's no way he's going to have enough money to continue operations without any new cash coming in. There has to be a new formulation. And banks are not going to do it. Banks already set aside money. They know there's debt. There's huge debt. There's loan losses. Grant is nobody special. Grant, everybody says, oh, Grant is too big to fail. Yeah, Grant's not too big to fail. He's not too big to fail at all. He's just a little shoe. He's got properties that nobody wants. He can't even liquidate his properties because nobody wants to buy them. He overpaid them. He will lose money on every single property if he had to sell these properties right now. So he can't liquidate. He's in a big bind here. Bigger than anyone talks about, even though these people that I follow on the internet here that have, are not friends of Grant. And I'm certainly not one of them, but I don't like the guy. I don't dislike the guy. I have nothing against him. I'm just trying to give you a product service that things aren't dandy, folks. Talk to you later.